All right, my name is Torrey Proctor, and I'm doing a presentation, really an introduction to Raspberry Pi computers. This is a Raspberry Pi computer, Raspberry Pi 3, and this is also a Raspberry Pi computer. That's the Pi Zero WH. And if you get interested and you want to buy one, and you want to get the little one, get the WH, because it's with headers. They solder the headers on there for you. So you can like do some breadboarding and wire up electronics. So anyway, the Raspberry Pis come out of the United Kingdom. It's a nonprofit, and they have sold a lot of these computers since they've released them. And they've outsold Commodore 64 computers, is what I read last year. So I mean, they're inexpensive. This Raspberry Pi computer is a $35 computer, and this one is a $14 one. And with the $14 one, you can download the same operating system that everyone's running tonight. Like you can surf the web, you got Bluetooth and Wi-Fi on both these machines. They're pretty amazing for how cheap they are. And what I tell my students, I teach STEM for Spencer Schools, is that this doesn't have to be just a computer that you plug in and look at the screen. You can jailbreak these and turn them into like weird stuff like fish feeders, video game systems, brains for robots. They're pretty cool. So what I start with is I show my students, usually my upper level students, my 4th and 5th graders, this video on what a Raspberry Pi is. So this is straight from Raspberry Pi headquarters, HQ. And it's on YouTube, and it's titled, "What is a Raspberry Pi?" So it runs about 2 minutes.
This is a Raspberry Pi. It's a credit card-sized computer that costs around £25, designed to teach young people to program, and is capable of doing all kinds of wonderful things. Back in the 80s, kids had to learn how to code computers to use them, and as a result, these kids grew up with an inbuilt understanding of how computers work. Now, we need more programmers than ever before. So to deal with this problem, some clever people came up with the Raspberry Pi to reignite the spark. It runs Linux, a free operating system from an SD card, just like the one in your digital camera, and it's powered by a USB phone charger. You just plug in a mouse and a keyboard, connect it to a TV or monitor, and you're ready to go. In schools, not only is Raspberry Pi a great way to learn programming skills as part of ICT, there are also dozens of cross-curricular applications, like science, and music. And all over the world, people are experimenting with Raspberry Pis and attending Raspberry Jam events, where people of all ages are learning what can be done with a Raspberry Pi. Since the first Raspberry Pi was shipped, we've seen examples of people using the Pi in a variety of amazing and interesting projects, taking advantage of its size, portability, cost, programmability, and connectability. So whether you want to learn to make games, build robots, or even teach a bird to parachute, with Raspberry Pi, the sky's the limit.
So after that, at school, I assemble a Raspberry Pi, and that's just taking like your power cord, your HDMI cord, hooking it to a monitor, hooking a keyboard and mouse to it, and then I also show them the micro SD card and talk to them about downloading the operating system to it. What is an operating system? So I really talk about some basic stuff. I want to give you a tour now of the operating system that I downloaded on the Raspberry Pi. So it's a graphical user interface here, but you have terminal, and I tell my students what a terminal is. This is how they used to control computers. Well, they still do, but I tell them if they're going to go into programming, they're most likely going to spend a lot of their time typing in a terminal and not clicking on icons. But you can do some things like you can delete folders, create folders, open up applications, install stuff. I know a few tricks, like ls will list all the things that are on my desktop. And pin out will show you what all the pins do on the Raspberry Pi, or what their numbers are. So there's general purpose input-output pins, and you can hook electronics to them, like buzzers, buttons, LEDs, and other hardware. And this is a project, I don't have it wired up, but when it's programmed, it lights up like rainbow colored order, and then chirps music. And then when you push a button, a little character dances on the screen. But I do teach them breadboarding, so this is a great project to teach kids about electricity and how an LED works and such, and program things that are like real world things that we have, like lights and buttons and sensors. So it breaks out of just using it from using the screen. Over here in the help menu, or the menu, it's the Raspberry Pi logo on the top, they have programming languages. These are just the ones installed. I'll show you how you can install some more. We do use Scratch 2 a lot. The Synsat emulator I'll show you in a little bit. Sonic Pi, not too many people have heard of it. You can actually code music and it loops. And then when you change the code, the change will come back in the next iteration. So it doesn't skip a beat, it sounds really good. So that's what Sonic Pi is. It does take a long time to load. This is smart. I just updated all the operating systems on these. So this is brand new. This operating system, the update came out last week, so I don't know what the education one is there. But they do have a full Office suite, spreadsheets, word processing, and so on. The internet works, it's Chromium. You can watch YouTube videos on here. I mean, it's a pretty good system. Surf the web. And going further down, our VLC player is brand new. And that's what I played the video on. This just came out last week and wasn't part of Scratch, or not Scratch, part of Raspberry Pi. So here's Sonic Pi. And I do want to play you some samples. I do have students actually code drum beats and play around with this. And these are actually, this is a one-day lesson. I have a 50-minute class. So I click on examples, re-resed, and I just copy the code. But they actually have to code their own projects. I'm kind of looking for driving pulse. I think you'll recognize this sound effect. Control C, Control V, and then play. Oh, this isn't the one I was looking for, but it shows you it sounds pretty crazy for, it's not going to change. Some of them are set to random, so you teach them, you can program things to go randomly in music, and same with lights and other things. Tron Bike is what I was looking for. So you can code not just music, like DJ music, you can code sound effects, and then export them and use them in other projects. Whoops. Let's take just a moment. In my classroom, I have one Raspberry Pi for every 2 students. And I like that setup so they can pair program, where one person checks each other's work, making sure everything's got the correct punctuation in their code and the correct capitalization. And what they learn right away is they can't be sloppy. They have to pay attention to the details. That's more in Python, and I'll show you. And it'll loop and change. So it sounds like the Tron motorcycle. But while it's going, you can come in here and you can change the different effects and so on, which I haven't done in about a year, and I'm not going to attempt tonight. But it kind of really sells technology to kids. Wow, that sounds awesome. That actually sounds good, and not Mary Had a Little Lamb, that they might be learning somewhere else. Graphics, it just says image viewer, but I found out that you can install GIMP, which is free Photoshop. Games, there's Minecraft Pi, and then there's a bunch of Python games. We do hack Minecraft Pi. In fact, this morning, my 4th graders were introduced to it, and then they had to open up Python 3, and then install a library, and then connect Python to Minecraft, and then we started hacking Minecraft and making it do really weird stuff. So my 4th graders actually are typing Python, and the first lessons they learn is oh, I have to actually copy everything as you see it, or it does not work. And then they learn how to read their error messages. It teaches them all sorts of skills. Accessories help Where you go to add stuff, add and remove software is under preferences. And I don't know how many there are, but if you choose a category like games or graphics, it goes on forever. This is connected to the internet, so it's going up to the satellite and bringing all this back down to earth here. So yeah, if you look something up, you can install more software. There is an enormous amount of stuff out there that you can add to this machine. So that's basically my walkthrough of what this is. I wanted to show you some additional things that you can add. It's called some hats, which are hardware on top. So I'll take you over to some machines that are set up. This is one that we use at Spencer Schools. The school is really awesome and kind enough to get these. It's another printed circuit board that sits right on top of the Raspberry Pi, and it connects to the GPIO pins, and it's a Sense hat. And on this Sense hat, that's what it's officially called, it has 6 different sensors on it, like temperature, it has an accelerometer, gyroscope, all those different sensors. And then there's also an LED matrix that we can program. One of the things we do is we make a pixel animation where frame 1, the person's standing, frame 2, it's moving, and so on. There's a joystick on there that you can actually use this as like a video game controller and play video games like Snake and what else you want to program. I mean, the reason I teach this, it's in my classroom, is that it has so many facets. Like you can turn it into so many different things and teach kids an enormous amount of stuff. Someone hooked up a camera.
No, yours is back there.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's another add-on I didn't bring today. We have one of our awesome patrons brought his Pi in, it looks like, and it has a Pi camera. So yeah, you can hook up a camera. One of the Pi camera projects you can do is take a picture of a student, and then you can write Python code to have it turn into Minecraft blocks in the Minecraft 3D space, which is an amazing project. Kids freak out over that. This one doesn't have anything. I'm skipping. I forgot I was going to set that one up. This one has electronic paper, and I've never heard of e-paper, but I don't know if I'll be able to. Oh my gosh. Tetris? Yeah, John is playing with it, and it looks like he's playing Tetris. But it's really interesting. I won't show you because it takes a little time to sit and code. I'll have to see where I left off, but you change.
John's got it.
You got it?
John's got it. Come on.
Right now it says, hello, my name is Torrey Proctor. It's a name tag.
Those be appropriate.
It's plugged in. You can turn it into a calendar. You can turn it into a weather machine. But if you unplug it.
Well, no, he's changing it.
Oh, is he going to change it?
Yeah.
Does he? He probably knows what he's doing.
No.
It takes
No.
Oh, I see.
I installed
he sees.
the library. You change the.
There it
Oh,
goes.
it flashes. It does some magic, which I should learn and teach. There's John's nickname. I'll wait until for some reason red takes longer, but you can have these in different colors and different sizes. But the crazy thing is if you unplug it, it doesn't have to be powered to have the name tag. Oh, you don't want to.
Badges next year.
Yeah, so this can be like a badge. It's an expensive badge. I think it's like $30, something like that. But I mean, you can hook this up to the internet and have it read your tweets. It can be hacked in so many different ways, but there's nothing powering that right now. It's not run on a battery. It's electronic paper. It blows my mind. This is the only one I have. I should probably get a class set and teach more. I do want to go back to, this became one of my side projects. Our camera operator, Tony Varelli, did a presentation on RetroPie. And you can, you can download,
I'm still going.
you can download different operating systems. This doesn't have to be run that operating system. It can run like a multimedia operating system where you have your movies, like a movie player, kind of like Netflix, or what's the Apple one? Not Netflix.
Apple TV.
Apple TV, yeah. They have their own kind of graphical interface. You can download their version of it for free. This was the one that Tony did a presentation on, RetroPie. He was so nice to download the ROMs for me and to make my machine work.
I knew no such thing. You found them on your
Whoops. For free. And then I designed this is a design of my own I did on the computer on a CAD program. And then I ordered the Legos and made a Super Nintendo case. There isn't any out there online. So that's my own design to cover it. And then I made another one for the Pi Zero W, kind of to the end of almost to the end here. So this one fits the little tiny, I don't know if you can see it in there, the Raspberry Pi Zero. Click, oh nice. And then, yeah, there's none of these out there, but you can purchase. There is a designer that sells these. These are pretty cool. And then this is one I put together by looking at, I think someone else came up with this design, but I put it together by looking at the pictures. But that's kind of the end of my Raspberry Pi demonstration. You're welcome to push all the buttons on the Raspberry Pis and check them out. Ask questions. If I can't answer them, the IT guys here can do a better job at answering the questions. Do you have any questions?
What do you find your biggest challenge of teaching Raspberry Pi is?
Finding projects that work.
Yeah.
Or finding projects that are for appropriate level. Like, I see my kids once in a 6-day cycle, so, and it's for 50 minutes. So I like to not start a project and stop it before it's done. So I want that project to work in 50 minutes. And I want it to be stable. Sometimes we were gonna make an MP3 player out of the Sense Hat, that flashy, glowy one. And I got it to work on 2 machines. But when it came time for the class to do it, the first class that did it, when they were uploading their MP3s to Scratch 2, half of them would crash. And it happened over and over again. And so I had to scratch that project. So it's gotta be stable, and it's gotta work in that 50-minute time frame. So I push, I want a project started and done in 50 minutes. It sounds crazy, but I've got 850 kids, and it's kind of fun, I think, to get something done and feel accomplished before you leave STEM. So there's lots. That's what I'm looking for, is finding projects, and then also projects that are not redundant. Oh, we've done Minecraft 20 times. No, let's try to move around and learn a little bit about electronics, learn a little bit about music, the terminal. There's lots of things I can teach them through this. So yeah, that's a long-winded answer, but that's what I'm looking for, is all those things.
How long did it take you to make the NES Pi?
The Super Nintendo one.
How fast could you build it now that you know what you're doing?
Actually, the CAD program, it's Studio. I think it comes from BrickLink, where you can actually order online from mom and pop shops. They came out with their own software, and you can they have all the bricks, and when a new set comes out, they update the software, and you can put in the ID for that kit, and it'll give you all the bricks to that kit. Anyway.
If you had all the bricks and you had all the pieces, how long would it take you to build and program that?
I was given the long-winded, I don't know. I just last week, I did the blueprint guide. You know, the pretty one where you turn the page? They actually have that in the software. You can make your own. It's 51 steps, I think.
Can you do it in a day?
Definitely. And my plan is to print out and have a box and a bag, and have them bagged and everything. And I don't know if I'm actually going to sell it. The problem with that is some of those pieces are hard to get, the purple pieces, and some of the curved pieces are expensive to get, and it doesn't make it cost effective. If I can get that for cheap, then yeah, I would sell them. But it's it's kind of a rare. It's kind of if you really love Super Nintendo and Raspberry Pi and Legos, and you're willing to shell out a lot of money, then maybe some people will buy them. I almost think about sharing it with the world, the blueprints for that. I haven't gotten that far. Any other questions? Yeah.
Are you going to provide links for the accessories, the hat and stuff?
I should. I could show you those right now. It wouldn't take.
Give me the links. I can also put it in the video description.
Yeah, I could do that. I can show you the the #1 resources that I use. They give out a magazine for free. You can download the PDF, and it comes out every month. So if you go to Menu Help, the Magpie, you can buy the magazine for print, and then you have to pay for it because they have to print it and send it to you. If you get a subscription, they actually give you a computer. It was the first magazine ever in history to where you can get a computer when you buy a subscription. And they actually, it's nothing to glue one of these in a plastic package to the magazine because they're so tiny. So the Magpie is the best resource. You go to Magpie. Oh, it's raspberrypi.org/magpie. You click on catalog, and then you're set. So if you want to get good at a particular thing, like you click on get issue, and then you just click on download. So the issue before last, some issues are on video games, some issues are DIY stuff. Just click download free, and then the PDF will come down from the heavens. From Elon Musk's. How many satellites?
64.
64. Man, you guys are a wealth of knowledge. Yeah, the second to last magazine that came out, it was the 75 greatest Raspberry Pi projects all in one free PDF. I mean, if you have nothing to do and you want to surf and maybe look for a project you might want to tackle, the Magpie is the best place. My second place is going to Raspberry Pi, the official website, and clicking on projects. But those are really seem to be more geared towards school-age children, like middle school. A little bit upper elementary, but mostly up that middle school range. And it even can be high school. Some of them are a little technical, but they have them in different categories. So this is what I usually try these out. This is my main source for school. So you click on games or whatever, click on browse all projects, and they have quite a hefty list with funny titles like the fart detector, stuff like that. But yeah, the United Kingdom is pretty hip, in my opinion. They're teaching their kids Blender, I noticed. They're teaching their kids all sorts of other things. Man, I go on in a tangent. Sorry, did I answer your question? Like, you needed the links, right?
Well, just like that LED thing.
That's.
I mean, I'm sure there's a ton of accessories out there, and I don't want to get the wrong one.
If I was organized, my plan was to make a slideshow, and I was going to have that on there. I'm glad you brought that up. Adafruit and Pie is 2 places you can get them. Since Hat. So if you go to piemaroni.com, they're an awesome resource, and they're really colorful, and they have guides and tutorials. So you not only can buy their products, but at their webpage, you scroll down, and they give you a couple project ideas. And yeah, this is where I got ePaper. And if you want to make a video game cabinet, there's all sorts of weird stuff they have. Yeah, they really love Raspberry Pi. So if you go to Raspberry Pi, and then hats and fats. Gosh, I can't remember what fats is, P-H-A-T.
Pretty untempting. Oh, nothing.
Where is it at? Hats and fats.
The name badge is fat. I just know that because you got it in your command line here.
Fat, yeah. Oh, so hats and fats, is it taking a while to load? I thought they'd show us pictures of all of them.
If you keep going down, that's how we will.
Oh, there we go. So there's hats for graphical things. Breakout garden hat, garden fat. Yeah, I don't even know what some of these do. But some of them are for video games. Some of them are for like making your own weather station outside. You know, a brain for that. LED shim. They have lots of LEDs. If you love LEDs and you want to embed an LED into something, they have big LED projects and they have small, tiny ones of all different sizes. So yeah, Sense Hat is probably my favorite because it can do the most out of all the other ones. Some of the other ones are just have like one job, we light up. Yeah. Help yourself to some pie before you go.
Real pie.
Yeah, we have. Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
Ooh.